All right, people, this is a special plan based on the charts and the earnings report action signal on TSLA. TSLA before earnings, did give a reversal signal here. Now, of course, it even confirmed the reversal signal, and therefore, I was looking deeply into the charts. I know TSLA very well. And this is, again, a very different type of trade. It's not like a typical breakout trade because, first of all, it's an earnings reaction. But the stock, I'm going to talk to what it's set up to do. And I'm going to explain some ranges. And again, this is more an advanced trading technique. Um, Similar to the Apple, well, Apple was much easier. Similar to the Apple pullback play, which I made some great money in, and we'll talk about that Apple plan as well, people. So Tesla is a reversal earnings play. The power of the move has just started. The August 18 350 calls could be used. Targets are 360 to 370. All right, people. Yeah, you want to get options that you want to have some time with this because in case it intended chop. I can explain you that I had a great Amazon plan and based on what I saw there and the gains that could be made, I prefer trading with more expensive options that are at the money. In other words, people go with less options because you're controlling when you buy these options, you're controlling 100 shares, and you can make more money with less risk this way because you're going in with less options. Of course, it costs you more to get in. But let's talk about this though. So Tesla above 347 and 346 are key pivot point entry zones. Okay, so for example, they open it up and they start bouncing, they start mashing 347. We try to get in depending on how the action looks between this 347 346 zone. Preferably they break it above. Now they could pull it back a little bit. But this will be a zone. But even if that doesn't happen, let's say we break above 347, they pull it back and bounce 346, the support becomes 340. This is a kind of six point swing. Not bad for something like Tesla. You need a little larger room for this, right? And so some people could if we get the right action, could look to just keep in mind that that's a support zone, and this is very bullish. Something happened here, and for Tesla to be able to easily break these levels is extremely bullish. They could chop it a bit, but they're definitely trying to go to 360, 370. Now, how we break 360, 370, Tesla could go even higher. So these calls can make a lot of money. Again, these are going to cost more, but let's go take a look at the options and understand what I just explained in the video. It's all about pivots right now. These are our pivot plays. I'm going to explain this a little bit more, but let's go take a look at the options. All right, so here's Tesla. They closed at 325, but they're up $20 at 346.75. So this stock could give multiple entry points is my point here. But what I'm trying to give you are zones. This is not a buy because it breaks this point. It's really a zones and how it trades, and I'll have to watch it. Just like the Apple trade, okay? The same thing. But you want to get in the right options, okay, to make the money. The odds are, this is a higher risk trade, by the way. But right now, these 350 calls are the reason. The reason why I chose these is, first of all, they traded very well and they had the open interest, and they're at a key pivotal point because the 340 is the support and the 347 and 346 are break zones that are signaling to test those 360 370 areas. And these options, okay, I estimate that they might trigger, they might cost $800 okay, let's say $1,000 per option. Now, $1,000, you have to realize you're trading, you're holding an option that has time that can double its value. So you're doubling your $1,000. Instead of buying 10 calls, it's the same idea. You buy a little less. For example, if you buy 10, let's say you were going to buy $100 calls, which are very unlikely when you're in the money. Sometimes we get those in the money trades, but you need, in order the risk is the same. If you have to buy 10 options, um, and they cost $1, that's $1,000 for 10. So you have those 10 options going against you on the movement, right? Now, if you go with more expensive options that will have, that are more, in the money of what we want to get into, you don't need to buy as many. So, for example, somebody buying 3 at, let's say this is $1,000. It might be cheaper, but I'm just giving examples. So let's say these are $1,000. So then you're buying 300. You're controlling 300 shares of Tesla, and Tesla moves, so you can make good money, right? And that's only $3,000 down on 3 options. Of course, if you went with 10, someone who has a bigger account, $10,000, but you're controlling 1,000 shares of Tesla, and for $10,000, you don't control that. And so the same amount of risk if you're buying shares of something, right? And with Tesla you need a swing points, right? So keep this in mind. This is more of a riskier trade, but if we pay attention to those key pivotal points, you can make good money. And so we will see what happens on the opening. Alright people, welcome to Power Target Trades, the place where I post great plans. You see this Apple update for August 1 earnings? Basically, you want to check out this video. I'm going to post it in this video, in the video link. And what I did today was actually, I talked about pivot zones, okay? So Apple opened up very strong. And first I bought the 158 pivot. And then it happened to go to the 156 pivot. And when it went to 156, I decided to go into leaps. So I first started with September, and then they decided, and I said they could pull back more. And I said, if it's going to pull back more, and I see some bouncing action as it gets to that 156 area, I'm going to initiate with the leaps. And I did that and made some good money, right? The leaps were $755. They cost $755. And they moved quickly they moved about 8 to 860, right? So that's $100 per contract, And again, with those leaps, don't forget those were January 19, 160 calls, okay? Again, this Apple trade is different, but I want you to check it out to listen to it. This is more like a pivotal point trade. I have breakout plays that I have to confirm, and they are not the same. And I post that too. But this sometimes what I have, or what we have, is when the setup is right, are going to be pivotal plays, pivotal points. And this Apple trade worked very well. Again, this is more of a long-term plan, but it did very, very well entering based on that reasoning. So same thing here. But Tesla, of course, is more of a beastly moving stock, requiring much more room. And so that's why I'm giving you those zones. Those are key zones that Tesla will want to stay, and Tesla moves very quickly. If it happens to try to go to that, it could bounce very quickly. It may not even get there, and it may go as low as 445, and then try to go and test 350. Again, it could wants to bounce around that area. I'm going to look and see. But I'm just giving an example of that's how we could trade Tesla, and those were the options. Plus, they give you a 2 week with Tesla. That kind of time is tremendous time, and those options can easily double, and you're doubling whatever the entry is. Let's say it could be between $900 to $1,000. You see the Sandro Power Trigger trade? It's going to appear here at the end of the video in a circle format. Simply click on it. It's going to give easy ways to subscribe. People, I make a lot of great plans. This is more of a complex plan. The Apple was a lot easier to do, but it worked out very well. I suggest you check this one out. Again, I'm going to post it over here at the end of the video, and then the Sandro Power Trigger trade is going to appear here in a circle format. Simply click on it. It's going to give you an easy way to subscribe. There's a lot of information. If you feel like it's easier to subscribe, come do it manually. In this video update, you'll be able to see it. It's called Apple Update August 1. Check it out. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.